the one who wrote the note actually built the wall. He found that the wall building steps were accurate. The conclusion, no other option than the builder of the note and the writer were the same person. Being convinced of this, he then set out to prove that his father would be capable of building the wall. He went to public records and found that his father was strong and intelligent and caring. In addition, he spent much of his available time reading every word written about his father. Discover, on the other hand, decides to pour himself into this study of walls. Surely, the better one knows walls, the better one will know wall builders. He studies architectural, engineering, and masonry. In the end, he is a world expert. By this time, he decides to reread the note, reconsider the note in light of what he learns of walls, and finds that there is nothing about the note that necessitates it being built by his father. That's all Defend. For his part, Discern tries to keep in touch with his brothers, Defend and Discover. However, the passion of each makes it harder and harder to spend time with them. In addition, he notices that each has become more and more passionate about his position, and it is now impossible to talk with them without hearing about all their expertise. Discern decides to arrange a meeting between the brothers, reestablish their brotherhood. The meeting, while well-intentioned, quickly dissolves into a shouting match. Defend started with the assurance that his knowledge of the note builder is so intimate that he is convinced that the wall is built by him. In fact, he concludes to him the most important message is that it is the most powerful wall builder ever. Discover followed with the details about information about walls. Walls are wonderful, he agreed, and nothing about this particular wall says that it had to be made by the father. To me, the most important thing is that given enough time, practically anyone could have built this wall. Ridiculous, retorts Defend. Fathers as skilled as ours could not only build a wall perfect, but made it in 4 days, just like the note said. He is not a typical father, and this is no typical wall. My father and your father are clearly not the same. Discern, thinking he can find blind spots in each brother, tries to build a bridge, saying, perhaps each of you were not so close to what the others learned, you might find common ground, but quickly finds neither brother respects his attempt at neutrality. Defend claims he is ignorant of the father, and Discern claims he is ignorant about walls. Sadly, the brothers part ways and remain distant for the years to follow. I'm sorry I'm having to read this. This is really only the second time I've gone over this since I wrote it, so please be patient with me. Amazingly, one day, each receives a letter from the trustee of the father's estate. The father has been discovered. He will be reading of the will. Each of the boys is an heir. They gather at the attorney's office and, in the excitement of the moment, forget their differences. They embrace and apologize for being so distant. After all, if they are heirs, they are brothers too. At the appropriate time, the trustee opens the letter and slowly reads. To my 3 sons, Defend, Discover, and Discern, I leave all my earthly possessions. May they manage them with care and wisdom, and with the brotherhood they learned by working together to finish the small brick clubhouse I started for them on the back of my property. May the love I have shown them cause them to love one another. You see, the father wanted to build brothers and not walls. That's my 10 minutes.
Thank you, Kyle. Michael, 10 minutes is what we agreed when you were up front. 10 minutes.
Okay, how's that? Oh, how are we doing up there in the balcony? Yay! Wow! All right, I want to do 2 things in my 10 minutes, 5 each. Addressing some of the claims by Dr. Hovind that scientists are liars and they knowingly lie to students and perpetrate lies in textbooks. Did I characterize that correctly? So the question is this true? Is this actually true? Are some scientists liars and they perpetrate lies, knowingly lying to people? Is this really true? The answer is no, it's not. Mistakes are made, as all humans do. We're the ones that talk about sin and so forth. Mistakes are perpetrated quite by accident, and usually, in fact, all of the examples that Dr. Hovind gave, and that's only a handful. There's lots more mistakes that get published in textbooks. All of them, without exception, I haven't found one, was discovered by other scientists. not by creationists. The scientists themselves nail each other on these things. It's one of the beautiful self-correcting natures of science. In terms of like Haeckel's famous embryological drawings, he was nailed in his own time for this. Then how did it end up in textbooks? You will never find any of the examples that Dr. Hovind gave in scientific papers or monographs or professional books by scientists or other professionals. Then how is it these things survive in textbooks? The problem is not of science. The problem is textbook publishing. And the problem is not just science, it's in all the sciences. It's in history books. It's in all textbooks. The reason is because, well, this is a whole other issue, but it has nothing to do with science. It has to do with textbook publishers and just sort of not checking their facts, or they hire fact checkers that are not qualified to do this. It's a serious problem, but it's an educational problem, not a scientific one. When the errors are discovered, they are taken out. You won't find Haeckel's drawings anywhere in modern textbooks published in the last few years. You won't find it anymore, along with any of the other errors he brought up. And in any case, the point is that this is what scientists do. And frankly, I resent the use of the word liar. I think it's a low blow. I think it's a rhetorical, sneaky trick on the part of a propagandist, not a man interested in science and truth. The second half, we turn on the PowerPoint here. I just want to make a few words, say a few words about religion and just plant this little seed. Because we're being told by Dr. Hovind in particular that the Christian story in particular is absolutely true in its veracity and has scientific evidence to support it. I believe that. One of the things that led me away from belief in that was the realization that these stories are not original to Christian stories.